Hey y'all. Hey. How are you? How are you? Let's take that share off real quick. We're going to pop that. I hear me. So at least I know it's working on YouTube. I hear me. Sorry, y'all. Okay, got the Instagram rolling. We are rolling on YouTube. I do know that for sure because I just heard it. Let's see if we are on Facebook in all of the spaces. Right, I see us on in the Facebook group. Yeah. And of course, I do know it's Mother's Day. So if you're not able to join live, that is totally fine. Clash the replay if you would like. Feel free to do that. Hey, Erica, how are you? All right, I'm trying to see where am I showing up on my personal page. How are you? Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of the peeps in here today. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. All right. It is not showing up, which sucks because normally I would be able to see. I hardly ever am able to see the post, or not the post, but yes, like I'm hardly ever able to see what people are saying on my personal page. So if you're on my personal page, hold tight, my loves. And we're going to get started here in a minute. And we're going to get started here in a momento. So we are already live there. And if you are on my email list, you just got an email from me as well. Mommy, you should be in here. Are you coming, mother? I just said that because my mommy just sent me a text and I told her to pop onto live. Hey, Jamila, how are you? Okay, we're gonna dig in. I have no idea where it is showing at on my personal page. Don't know, but it's there. I mean, she just texted me, so I was like, "Where you at?" Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. First and foremost, how are you doing today? My name is Tanjarae, and I'm feeling spicy today. It is also Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mamas, the teacher mamas, the counselor mamas, the fur mamas, any kind of mamas, the mompties, all the mamas. If you serve as the maternal role in whoever's life, happy Mother's Day to you. Okay. And if you're on IG, y'all don't pay no attention to my background. Yeah, yeah. It is what it is. um, but we're gonna get into our lives today. I don't want to keep you all on long because it is Mother's Day, and I'm quite sure you're spending time with the mom or the woman in your life, whether it's just yourself spending time with you. That's fine too. So I don't want to hold you all long. As I was planning this series, I was not thinking about the fact that the second Sunday is also Mother's Day. That was totally like totally did not think about that. So here we are, hanging out, and my mommy is still commenting on my pictures. But again, let's get into it. So today's topic, let me share my screen with you all. Before actually, I don't think I introduced myself. Clearly, I'm all over the place, y'all. It's been a long week. I'll be honest, it has been an incredibly long week, and we still showing up. Okay, we still gonna show up, right? Show up for the people. Show up for the people. But in case you did not know me, my name is Tanjarae Porter, and I am the Chief Vision Strategist with Cultivated Connections Design and Consulting, also the founder. And I help educators cultivate healing, social awareness, and education through the arts. And for those of you who don't know, I am also a lover of productivity and planning. And a lot of people consider me as a productivity strategist. So, hey, we're just going to sprinkle that on over here too. And if you are watching me from YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe that YouTube channel. If you are following me on Instagram, make sure you share this in your stories or slide into somebody's DMs. If you are on Facebook, LinkedIn, all those other places, make sure you also share this live. If it's not going to help you, it might help somebody else. Okay. The live will also be posted and it will also stay up. I will not take this down just in case you can't watch it live or you might have to pop out because, again, it is Mother's Day. So I understand if you can't hang out like that. But I hope you get something that you need. And if you don't need all of it, throw out the rest. All right. So let's get into it. Let me get my slides up. Yes, we're doing it presentation style today. We're getting the slides up, y'all. We're getting the slides up. Okay. So if you are on Instagram, I'm sorry you're not going to be able to see the slides, but you will be able to hear me talk. The reason why is I got a new phone a couple months back, and unfortunately, my phone is too big for my regular tripod. So it's time to order a new tripod. So again, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those other places if you wanted to see this live show. So let's go ahead and get into it. So today our topic is purposeful planning. Purposeful planning, planning to keep your sanity intact. Okay. I'm going to repeat that again. Planning to keep your sanity intact. We do not do that well. Okay. We plan to get things done, but we don't plan with the intention of keeping our sanity intact. So, if you see me looking off to the side, I'm looking at different devices. I'm looking at the second screen. I'm looking at the main screen. I'm also looking at the Instagram screen and checking the iPad at the same time. So we got 4 different devices going on over here. Okay. So forgive me if I'm not looking directly at the camera, but let's start with who am I? So y'all heard who I am in regards to, the business aspect of it. Yes, I am the Chief Vision Strategist and founder of Cultivated Connections Design and Consulting, where I coach and consult with arts educators just to, help them get their life inside of the classroom, because y'all know the system treats arts educators like we the stepchildren. Okay. We said it. I meant it. I said what I said. Okay. But not only am I that, yay, that's better. Not only am I that person, right? The coach and consultant and the founder of this amazing consulting firm, I am also these people too. So let's go back and make that back to a bigger screen so you can actually see that. So I am a wife of almost 9 years. Yay! Our anniversary is actually this month, May 31st. So hey, one thing you can do for me is go ahead and follow at Triple D's Bakery on Instagram, and go ahead and bake you some cookies for our anniversary, or not bake you some cookies, order some cookies, in honor of our anniversary. Okay. My husband is also a business owner as well. But I am a wife of almost 9 years. We've been together for 14. Yes. Yes, I think. Yeah, think of that. I am also a member of several organizations: Order of the Eastern Star, PHA, 100 Black Women, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. I'm also a member of Educators Cooperative. And I'm saying this for a reason. I'm not saying this to boast. I'm going to tell you why. So this picture here is just showing outing after the tornado we had here in Nashville in 2020. We was cleaning up and doing all the things in the community. And this is a picture of me being who I am right now. I'm showing up as the Chief Vision Strategist of Cultivated Connections Design and Consulting. I am also a fur mama of a 7-year-old pup. He will be 7 July 16th. So wish my little fur pup, some lovies. I am a daughter, a granddaughter, a sister, a godmama. Like, I'm all the things, right? I'm also a dance educator. I used to be a dance educator in the studio. However, unfortunately, that studio closed, but I still keep in touch with some of these babies. And I'm supporting the babies in the community and all of that. I also am a educator full time currently, as well as an instructional lead and a whole bunch of other hats. Okay. So I'm saying all this to say I am just like you. Okay. I am just, like you. I have no idea why the camera turned off. Just like you. If you are watching me, you are an educator, you know how it feels to wear all of the various hats in school, outside of school, and all the things that you do. Jamila says she can't wait to get her cookies. I'm gonna make sure I tell her that. Yes. So you already know what it is. These hats that we wear are so intertwined with one another to the point where we are most of the time don't know when one hat is on and when the hat comes off, because most of the time they stay on at the same time all the time, right? But with that being said, we have to make sure that although we are wearing all these different hats, that we are taking care of ourselves. Okay. And I'm coming from a space of vulnerability. I have no shame about who I am, my life, my flaws, my strengths, none of those things. Okay. So let's dig into it. So not only do I have all of these hats, right? I also am a person who has suffered from mental health issues, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this particular presentation, if you will, or live with teachers. Okay. Yes, we talk about burnout. Yes, we talk about mental health, but I feel like nobody actually shares their story. Or if you do, let me know, tag me, and I would love to hear your story and support with it. But no one really shares their story. And if there are stories being shared about educators and their mental health, it's not them the one that are telling it, right? It's not the person who's suffering from the things telling it. So in the spirit of vulnerability, I wanted to put myself out there and tell you I too have suffered from depression. I've suffered from depression and anxiety since as long as I can remember as a kid, right? Life happenings, right? So I have no problem with sharing that. That's also one of the reasons, because of my journey, the reasons why I teach the way I teach, with a more holistic approach and more like trauma sensitive, if you will, approach to my curriculum, my content, my interactions with the students, because I was that child that needed that. But not only that, I also am a ADHD warrior. Okay. And I didn't find that out until maybe about 2 years ago. But I never I've always thought I had it, right? I mean, we all do. Once you're diagnosed, you're like, oh, okay, now it makes sense as to why my brain think like that. Okay. But it also made sense as to why I will oftentimes forget things, right? working memory issues, or why I would lose track of time, like time blindness. It was, or why I would hyper focus and things like that. Um, it started to make sense. And because of that diagnosis, paired with things that I already was doing, um, just only catapulted me using planning, if you will, for mental health purposes. Okay. So I definitely have been a planner girl my whole life. I'm the girl that loves stationery. I love stationery. I got planners and books and things all up in here. Okay. That's why I say don't look behind me, because there are planners and books and pens and rulers and all that thing behind me. Okay. So I've always been that girl. Um, using some kind of planner to plan my life, but I really think it was just a way for me to not forget things. And of course, as a kid, I didn't know that was, I was creating a system for myself. I just like pretty pencils and pretty colors and stickers, and I still am like that. But what it did was it catapulted me into a space where I developed a system over the years, even as a child. And I was also, for the most part, for the early years of my life, raised by my grandmother, who is a more regimented person, like old school, right? She's in her 70s now. Hey, mama, happy Mother's Day. I call my granny mama. Happy Mother's Day to you too, boo. But she was a more regimented person. So I kind of picked up those skills from her, which was awesome, being the fact that I do and more than likely did have ADHD as a child. So she taught me structure earlier on. Um, yes. So with that being said, let's keep moving. So we're gonna have a couple different stories, okay? Because yes, I was a schedule girl way back when, or not schedule girl, but a planner girl way back when, right? But there is a reason as to why I plan the way I do today, and it has a trajectory. And I cannot get to the how to without telling you the why. Okay? So the what is being purposeful when you plan. But let's go to the why it became this way. So I had to put this up here because I like to call this the tale of the cold cuts. So see, the way I plan my life right now actually came from this moment between me and my lovely and amazing husband at Triple D's Bakery. Make sure you follow him. And I like to call it the tale of the cold cuts. So I started intentionally planning a little bit more back in 2015. Oh, maybe it was like 2016, but 2015, 2016, sometime like that. It was like my third year of teaching. I was a new wife. We had maybe been married, maybe a year and a half at this point. New city, new school, charter school at that, new curriculum. I was not teaching dance at this time. I was actually teaching sixth grade. Um, New journey into being a grad student. And I was also a person, and still am, a person who hates cooking, and I hate grocery shopping. In fact, I don't like shopping at all. It's not fun to me. It stresses me out, literally. Okay. But especially when it comes to grocery shopping and it comes to food, I can't stand it. It irks my nerves. But I think it irked my nerves even more when I did not know what I wanted to eat or wanted to cook, and I would have to go to the grocery store after school. Because when we've made all of these decisions, right? Like all of these decisions at school, we didn't answer the questions. The babies are touching on us, and I teach elementary, so they're patting this, that, and the other. But beforehand, I was teaching sixth grade, and you've made all these decisions, and it's called decision fatigue. If you don't know anything about it, look it up. So by the time I sat in traffic, because if you know anything about Nashville, traffic is a hot mess all the time. After sitting in traffic and like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna eat? Oh my goodness, I would have to go to the grocery store after work, 6 o'clock, after sitting in traffic, and I would be so annoyed. It was nobody's fault. I just didn't have a plan or a process, right? And so My husband was doing a bunch of amazing things in community organizations that he was a part of at the time. He was also working full time. I was working full time, going to grad school, things like that. And by the time we both got home, we would be too tired to like even think about food. And we always kept lunch meat or deli meat, whatever you call it in your region, turkey slices inside of the refrigerator. Like that was just our quick go-to. And this one day, my sweet honey was like, babe, yeah, I'm tired of eating cold cuts. So that's why I call it the tale of cold cuts. Because that was like legit and that was real. Of that's literally all we were eating. Like cereal. I'm a cereal head. So I would pop some cereal in my mouth real fast. In fact, I did it this morning. Um, but that was just like an awakening moment for both of us. I was like, dang, yo, we need to cook. We need to just do the things because we had become so busy to the point where like we were not feeding ourselves nutritious meals. We were literally like, let's make this turkey sandwich, put some chips on it. If we're from Memphis, so put some chips on it, crunch that bad boy, and we good. We good. So it was one day, I want to say he was at work, either at work or out, but whatever reason, he was not in the house this particular day. And I went on this YouTube journey of meal planning. And I ran across this lady, the budget mom. I still watch her to this day, the budget mom. And I fell in love with her style of planning for meals. And with her meal planning, she would like do an inventory and write down all of the different things inside of her planner that she already had in the house. So I did that. I was like, okay, well, what do all we like to eat? Wrote all that down. What do we have in the refrigerator and in the freezer and the pantry, all that. So basically take an inventory, cool beans. What days am I not cooking? Right? What days am I not cooking? I think that was the most important to me because at the time I was going to class every Tuesday evening. Dorian, which is my husband, was usually at a meeting on Thursday. So I knew those 2 days I was not cooking. It was going to be a leftover day, right? Or something. And so that's how this journey started from the tale of the cold cuts. Of I just needed a way to ease my anxiety when it came to shopping, when it came to cooking. Because literally, y'all, my stomach would be in knots when the question of what are you going to eat, whether it was prompted by myself or prompted by somebody else, came up. It literally put my stomach in knots, especially after a long day. And then when I had to think about what is it that I am going to cook, yeah, I'm creative, but not in the kitchen. I can do something if I got a recipe. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure y'all know that. So we had kind of at this point started or established a routine of going to the grocery store on Sundays. So that was kind of a thing already, kind of like automating your life, if you will, which I'm going to bring back up. That kind of just happened. So it was beautiful to like meal plan loosely, lightly for the month. And then schedule, not schedule, but have my grocery list already ready for when it was time to go to the grocery store. That lessened my anxiety so much, y'all. That's where it started. Okay. Then we had to move a little forward from there. Okay. So I said that I was going to share y'all a couple of different stories. I had to start with the tale of the cold cuts because that's where it started. As funny as it may be, it started there. I had to own the fact that this is the thing that makes me anxious. This is the thing that does not make me feel confident. And I had to figure out, well, what will make me feel confident in this part of my life, especially when we both had so many movement pieces and transitions, this, that, and the other. Like I said, I'm being real. Okay. Right now, I'm not chief vision strategist. Right now, I'm legit Tanjarae, an educator, a wife, a dog mama, and all the other hats that I already shared with y'all. Okay. and I wanted to be vulnerable with you. Yes. So I'm looking at Instagram, and Anika said, plus use to store apps for your grocery lists, helps with budgeting also. So that's what I did not think of when we go back to the tale of the cold cuts planning journey. I did not realize until starting that process that it did help with budgeting. Changed my life. And now we're about to get back into that habit again. But I know as educators, we all, no matter what grade level you have taught, what year you have been teaching, like I've now performed a decade of teaching in the K-12 system. It's been about 15 years altogether though. With like community organizations, all that jazz. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're talking about. We've all have experienced Sunday scaries. Okay. And if you don't know what Sunday scaries are, on Sunday, before you go to work, the anxieties start to pop up, the dread, the thing, just this icky, not so exciting feeling starts to pop up. Let me know in the comments with the emoji. Give me a sad face if you've ever experienced Sunday scaries, or scared face, one of them, sad or scared. Let me know in the comments if you have ever experienced the Sunday scaries, because they are a real thing. I don't know where the name came from, but they definitely are a real thing. Yep, and while y'all doing that, I'm just checking something. Okay. Okay, back at it. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, so the Sunday scaries for me was literally every Sunday evening. I would say roughly about 3, 4 o'clock. I would get very, very anxious. Okay. And like I mentioned before, I've always suffered from anxiety, even as a kid. So that feeling was very familiar for me. I would get very, very anxious, like to the point where I was like pulling on my fingers because I'm a person that's tactile. I would pull on my fingers. I would be like, feel flutters in my chest, just all kind of just weird feelings that did not feel good. I don't even know how to explain it, but I felt it. It was a feeling of dread, of just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to work. Oh my gosh, Monday's coming. Like, and I'm quite sure teachers are not the only people that feel this or have felt this. Is just where I've heard it the most, right? And it's not that I disliked my role, my job, my kids, none of that. It was just this thought of, holy crap, it's Monday, and now I got a ton of things to do. Right? Like that's really where it came from. Just like this list is never ending. When am I going to sleep? I gotta write a new lesson plan. Oh my gosh. I gotta deal with the children that need that extra love. Hint, hint, wink, wink. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. It was just a lot. Right? And all of that every Sunday came to my soul. And for a while there, I did not know what to do with it. Okay. And like, I do believe I experienced this a little bit before my 4th year of teaching, but around my 4th year of teaching, it was bad. It was really, really bad, to the point where I would cry. I would legit cry and be like, oh my gosh. What you see in this picture is literally how I felt. Okay. And I didn't know what to do with that. So, because I'm a planner girl and I'm also creative, I decided to do what most do now, which is creative planning. And this style of planning kind of helped me out earlier on when I was doing grad school, this, that, and the other, because I just needed a creative outlet, but I didn't have time for creativity. Or let me scratch that, I didn't make time for creativity. So I was like, well, I need to do planning anyway, and I love stickers and all that. So I kind of went down the rabbit hole of Happy Planner. If you all are a planner people, Happy Planner and the sticker vibes. Yes. It was an outlet for me. It made me wanted to sit down and plan and things like that. So I started doing that. Okay. I just mentioned that. So at the time to help resolve this, I began creative planning. So Happy Planner plus the weekly preview. And so I added the weekly preview. Happy Planner. I don't have one on me. Google it. It's a whole bunch out there. That gave me the creative aspect where I could put stickers anywhere I wanted. And then you can do this in a regular planner, okay? But that's not what we're here for. If you want to know more about that, follow my other page, The Productive Lounge, okay? But it was something joyful. It was something that gave me peace. It was something that made me want to look at the to-dos that I had to do for the work week and document them, right? So I have on this screen weekly preview every Sunday. At the time, my school was send out what we call the weekly preview. It had all of our duties in there, events that we needed to think about, all that jazz, just a whole bunch of like an itinerary for the week, if you will. Things we needed to remember, all of that. So I legit would sit down on Sundays with all my stickers, my markers, my planner, and the weekly preview pulled up on my computer or whether I wanted to print it or whatever. And I legit would plan out my week based off of that. Okay. And it worked until it didn't. Y'all, it worked. It was a beautiful strategy until it did not. And we're going to get into why it didn't work. What worked was I knew exactly what I needed to do for work. I had no issues. I knew the deadlines. I knew the things, honey. If anybody needed to know the things, I was like, oh, let me check my planner. I got it. Da 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 da. Right? I was able to rattle off all the expectations, the events, the all of that. But I was still struggling mentally. Right? Why? Because I wasn't taking care of myself. Okay. So let's roll into year 5. Year 5 of me teaching in the K-12 sector. At this point, your girl was burnt the bleep out. I told you I'm being vulnerable. I'm being real today. I was burnt out. Burnt. And did not know I was burnt. Because year 5, several things happened. Was it year 5? Hold on. Let me count. Georgia Hills. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say it was roughly my 5th year of teaching. Yeah, burnt out. We at this time had some team transitions, things like that. I was suffering from grief, horrible grief. And if you watched last week's live, I mentioned that as well. At this point, my anxiety had like blew through the roof. It was crazy. I was having anxiety attacks randomly. My hair started to fall out, and this was pre-locks. And I also have alopecia, so that was not helpful either. Because I'm like, yay, I'm just not getting my hair to come back, and now I'm losing it again. Okay, not okay. Face breaking out. I was sick a lot that school year. I mean, oh my goodness, I haven't been that sick since I was a kid. Sinus infections, a lot of sinus infections. And I never dealt with that to that extent. Strep throat, y'all. I ain't had strep throat since I was like 6. And I ended up with strep throat that year. My migraines came back tenfold. I mean, I've suffered from migraines since I was 12. And they had never came back that bad. So migraines were horrible. In fact, I was hospitalized 2 times. Thank the Lord for an amazing husband for severe migraines, where one migraine was so bad I thought I was having a stroke, or my husband thought I was having a stroke because I could not talk. I was not coherent. Like you could not understand the words that were coming out of my mouth because my head was hurting that bad and I could not form sentences. So yeah, that year was bad physically for me. And I didn't know how to get out of it. I was struggling mentally and still showed up to work every day like everything was okay, and it was not. My mental health took a plummet, worse than it has ever been, and I still showed up to work smiling and being fake. Still doing my weekly preview sessions with myself. I was doing all that until I didn't. And there was a moment where I realized where you're like, girl, get your life. Ooh, excuse me. Like, girl, get your life. This is not safe. This is not okay. And you're not doing these students any justice. So, as you can see on the screen, I got Will Smith thinking, do something different. So by the end of 2019, that was like 2017 to 2019, but the 2018 era is what really kind of took me down under mentally, because that was after I lost my grandfather, and it just spiraled down. But closer to like 2019, the end of 2019, I started to feel better spiritually. I started to do the things that I knew to do. Like I started reading my Bible more, praying more, those spiritual things, and started to just take my life back. And I had to do that by setting boundaries. I had to start telling people, no, I cannot talk to you right now. Why? Because I'm not well. Okay. So I started doing that. I started to not people please, if you will. Just because I have availability in my schedule does not mean I'm available for you. Okay. And that meant my teammates at work, that meant my family members who had things that were going on. I couldn't go to every birthday party. I just couldn't. I couldn't travel down to Memphis for everything. I couldn't. Financially and mentally, I could not at that time. Okay. And I just learned to set those boundaries. Now, what also helped me set those boundaries was also scheduling me in my schedule. Okay, so now we're about to get into some strategies. Scheduling me within my schedule. I don't know if I've ever mentioned on my platform that I suffer from a whole lot, and y'all wouldn't know it, but I'm being open and vulnerable today. I have shifted hips, and for the longest I thought it was my back, y'all, but in actuality it was my hips. So that was a whole thing and a whole journey, and we'll talk about that another day when we start talking about the spine and the body and how movement heals. Okay, but I had started going to the chiropractor. Stronghold Health, thank you for giving me my life back. So I had started going to the chiropractor, and at this moment he had put me on a strict um regimen to come in. I want to say it was like 3 times a week, because that's how inflamed my body was, which also was why I was so sick, right? I started scheduling me. I knew I had to show up in order to get physically healthy again in regards to like my back and my spine. I had to show up. So I had to make myself a non negotiable. There was no more, oh, I can do this. No, I have an appointment after school. I have to show up for that. Can this wait till tomorrow? That's where it kind of started from. And then I started to put the life happenings into my schedule a lot more, whether it was, oh, date night, or my friend is having a party, or like things like that. I would schedule it inside of my planner ahead of time. One, because a lot of times I would say yes, and then when the time comes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Right. And then now that's resetting this anxiety within my soul. And then I would do work. So how I would do it was me, whether that was dentist appointments, nail appointments, all those different things. I put me in there first. Then I put the life happenings, whatever those life happenings was, the appointments, the parties, the not that I go to a lot of parties. That's what it sounds like. I go to a lot of parties, but I don't. No. The just the events, right? Um, the work functions, things like that. I would put them in there, and then I would schedule work things, right? I would schedule the family fun days, or the students' basketball game, or whatever. Whether I went to them or not, they were on my calendar. Okay. I stopped putting work above all the things. I just stopped doing that, because as much as I love what I do, because I love what I do, was taking all of me. Okay. Um, so I can go down that for a long time, but I know that's not what y'all here for. Okay. You have to schedule you above everything else first. So I bet you're like, well, what do you currently use? I am a full on digital planner now. Again, I'm not getting into the different systems and all that today, especially not on this channel right now, because that's not what you're here for. You're here to steal my flow. Okay. But I'm currently a full-on digital planner. I only use my iPad, Google Calendar, mainly Google Calendar. I use Good Notes 5 because I still like the act of writing down on a planner. But I use it as a digital planner. And I also use Notion. Notion is more of my note-taking knowledge hub, if you will. And we'll talk about that another day. But for as far as like appointments and to-dos, Google Calendar, or my digital planner, PDF version, Good Notes, because I like the act of writing. And how I usually do this system, do this flow is, y'all got your pencil and paper. Get your pencil and paper out because you're about to steal my flow. Okay. So what I usually do, and I did this in my paper planner as well, I used a inbox. Okay. What that means is I legit wrote down everything that I could possibly think of that could be impactful this month. Okay. And this one does say February because this I never did erase it. It's still in my Google Keep. And I did use Google Keep for this. You can do this on paper. Before I became a full-on digital planner, I used paper. I will show y'all another day what that looked like. Literally just get a piece of paper and write down everything that you can possibly think of. It is my catch-all inbox, a placeholder that for everything that comes in, your ideas, your tasks, your appointments. When somebody stops you in the hallway and say, "Hey, can you send me the email that such and such sent you?" Yeah, I wrote that down too. Hey, don't forget to sign Little Johnny's IEP. I wrote that in there too. Literally everything. Everything. Like, I am not exaggerating. It was no rhyme or reason. Even as random as it was, everything. It held my work. It held personal. It held marriage. At that point, I did not have a business when I first started that. But it had organization notes, like don't forget to schedule the audit meeting, all of that. Whatever you could think of, that's where it was in my inbox system. So I would definitely tell you, if you don't have an inbox system or a running to-do list, you can call it that too, a running to-do list, definitely do it. Are you going to get all those things done in that same month? No, no, no. But it will be a placeholder for you to have everything that someone has remotely said something to you about, something that's popped up in your head. It's a great place to have. Okay, so catch all, master to-do list, inbox, whatever you want to call it. Just make sure you have one. You can do it in your paper planner. You can do it on your phone. Most of us have our phones in our hand. Apple Notes, Google Keep, Samsung Notes, wherever you want to store it. Just a running master to-do list that literally catches all the things. Okay, so that's where I started. Again, I did it with my paper planner as well. And then what I would do was document the scheduled events. So I would legitimately, that weekly preview that I mentioned from the school, I will get my weekly preview out and document, oh, we have this assembly on this day, we have this field trip on this day, which again, I know most of us as teachers, we do that anyway. But I also would put, I need to input these students' names by whatever the deadline was. Okay. So I would do that too. And then, of course, the other appointments, my personal appointments, my nail appointments. Y'all, I'm serious about my nails. Okay. I'm serious about my nails. My nails appointment, my hair appointments, all those different appointments, whatever. It was on the front cover of my monthly calendar. Again, I used paper at the time. Okay. Not only was it on this calendar, it was also on the calendar on the refrigerator. We got calendars everywhere because I forget things. But document everything that is a confirmed thing or a potential thing in your planning system. We are great at putting confirmed things inside of our systems, but we're not great at putting potential things in our systems. The reason why I say that, I have a friend that has amazing ideas, and she'll say like, "Hey, we should do this next month." Okay, well, what date are you thinking about? And she'll give me that date, and I will put it in my calendar as a placeholder. Why? So one, I don't forget, and two, I won't double book myself. That has changed my life. Okay. So I can schedule around that or follow up with her at a later time. Like, hey, are we still doing this? Either we are or we aren't. Okay. But that has helped a lot. So put the potential outings, whether you actually go to that outing or not, put the potential things in your calendar. So stuff that you want to go to that you may not have bought the ticket for yet. Put it in your calendar. Okay. This past weekend we were supposed to go to the Strawberry Festival. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to, but it was on our calendar. So yay. At that attempt, we just had another situation that came up. But it was there. Okay. So stop saying, I don't have a life, I don't do things. You don't have a life, you don't do things because you don't schedule them. Point blank and period. My good sister, Jamila, who is also here in our chat, she always says to schedule the joy. So schedule the joy. Okay. Moving forward, now automate your needs and self care. Put you on automation. This has become one of my sayings. Put you on automation. You're going to constantly hear me say something about my nails because my nails are my thing. That's my form of expression. My nails are on automation. I go to my girl every 2 weeks, point blank in the period. The only way I'm not going to go is if we need to, revamp this budget. Okay. Or there's a life happening that has hindered me from going, but not going to the nail shop. That's a non-negotiable for me. It's a non-negotiable. And it's on all of the calendars. All of the calendars. It's a non-negotiable. So whatever that self-care thing is, automate it. It's already in her system that I'm showing up every 2 weeks at 4:30, more than likely on a Wednesday. Not only that, remember I was mentioning about the chiropractor, and at the time the chiropractor wanted me to come every, I want to say 2 to 3 days. Well, now of course I've graduated, hallelujah, from needing that service and needing that amount of intensity. However, I still need to show up. So I have my chiropractor appointments automated for the next to the end of June. Then once June is over, I'm gonna do it for the rest of the year. Okay. So I purposefully called the receptionist and was like, yo, can you schedule me for every second and fourth Thursday at 4:45 for my adjustments? Why? Because I work well with things being planned out ahead of time. And that is something you can plan out ahead of time. Your dentist appointments, your chiropractor appointments, whatever the appointments are, there's something that you can automate ahead of time where you don't have to think about it. And the second and fourth Thursdays just worked out for me because I do other things on the first and the third Thursday where I don't want to have to sit in traffic and not make my accountability phone call with my business sisters at 7 because traffic is horrible. Okay. So automate your needs, your wants, your desires. If there is a dance class or art class that happens every Saturday morning, automate that bad boy. Literally put it in your calendar. Okay. Or go ahead and prepay for that bad boy so now you feel obligated. Okay. So put you on automation. And of course, plan your week out ahead of time. Granted, things and stuff may change, but plan your week out. Whether that's using your weekly preview if your school does that. So plan out your work things, your work to-dos. Choose what days you want to stay late at work. Not every day. You should not be staying late at work every single day. I don't know who told y'all that lie that makes you a dedicated teacher. No, stop that. And if you've been doing it all year, stop today. Okay? No. Go into the next year, not doing that. Choose 1 to 2 days because there are going to be days where we have to stay after school to print out the things, do the things, but 1 or 2 days, and that's it. Okay. Time management, do better. But make your needs a priorities in a non-negotiable. Understand. Okay. I slipped up a couple weeks ago. We had a school event and I forgot to let my higher up know that I originally had a chiropractor appointment because it was on the 4th Thursday. And that was my mishap. I still should have just been like, because it's up the street. Hey, I'm about to run up here and then come back. But no, I decided to cancel that appointment and then reschedule that appointment. And I almost had to cancel that appointment and reschedule that new appointment. And I was like, no, that's not okay. I messed up and let something else take space of my non-negotiable. So moving forward, I have not rescheduled. Nope. Mm-mm. I'll be back because it's like 10 minutes away. I'll be back. Y'all can miss me for 10 minutes. Okay. So make you a non negotiable. Whatever those needs and priorities are, stop rescheduling things to make other things fit. Okay. In the comments, we're coming to a close. Of course, I can go deeper here, but like I said, it's Mother's Day. I don't want to keep y'all on here all day. But in the comments, tell me, what is your biggest challenge right now? And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. What is your biggest challenge about planning your sanity or having some sanity? What is one of your biggest challenges right now? Yes. And I'm going to roll back to the comments as y'all are telling me. Jamila says, I have to put everything on my calendar or it does not exist. I also sync my calendars. I agree. Same. I have several different calendars. Several different calendars. I have a bill calendar because I struggle with remembering things. Not that I don't pay my finances. No, I do. And most of everything is automated. But I need to know what is coming out when and how much. So I have that on my Google Calendar. I previously had a self-care calendar. I need to put that back up. And my husband and I have a family business calendar where it literally, if it takes us out of the house or away from each other, we put it on the calendar. Like this live is on the calendar because it's taken away from our household time, whatever that looks like. Okay. And just so he needs to be in the know of the things, whether it's in the house, like the next room, or out of the house. And he does the same. And it's just great communication for us to see what the other person has, just in case I may forget to say something, right? Because we're all humans. We got 1,000 things to think about. Or if he forgets to say something, I was like, oh, okay, I already see that on the calendar, right? Um, Scheduling your joy. Yes, make sure you schedule your joy. My joy this week is going to be going to see my friend Ebony feature her new choreography. I'm so excited because I haven't seen her work in a hot little minute now. And Jamila says, I need to automate my joy. And you need to automate it now. Yes, 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 yes. Well, y'all, this is all that I have for you on tonight. Of course, we can dig even deeper into planning your sanity, but I just wanted to give you like a brief rundown of what this can look like. Everybody's system is different, everybody's flow is different. Your flow does not have to be my flow. And if you do have a flow or system that you would like to share, let me know. We'd love to have you on. I love productivity. I love creativity. I love all those different things and think that we have to do a better job at sharing the things that works for us because it may help someone else. Okay. But before we move on, we're still on our Mental Matters live series that's happening all month. Our next person that we will be featuring is Miss Felicia Hollis Butler. She'll be hanging out with us on Tuesday, May 16th at 6:30 on all the platforms that you are seeing us at right now. And if you're watching me from Instagram, you may on that one log in on YouTube and catch us on YouTube because yeah, IG don't be working with the rest of them. Okay. So we have Felicia on May 16th talking about music education, mental health, and ministry. And then after that, we have our two lovely, amazing health gurus, healthy eating and mental wellness with Satara and Erica. That'll be popping up next Sunday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. And then to close out our Mental Matters live series where we're exploring mental health, wellness, education, and creativity will be our girl, Santasha Calmer, talking about mental wellness and wholeness practices. She is a mental health professional. So if you don't get nothing else from this series, make sure you get something from her because she actually does this work every day supporting people with mental health issues, or they don't have issues, they just want to be mentally healthy. So make sure you check us out. Also, if you're not on the newsletter, make sure y'all on there. One, I've been sending reminders about the different lives that are happening, but two, I do have a beautiful series about mindfulness in the classroom, and not only in the classroom, you can use it at home too. That you can get a hold to this week. I'll be popping that up this week, so look forward to the graphic. And yeah, so let me pop this off because y'all can't see me. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, and interact. Let me know what you're thinking. Still tell me what is your biggest challenge as an educator who is trying to plan out their sanity. Okay. I look forward to talking to you all on Tuesday. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. See you Tuesday. Stay creative. Bye.